Welcome to Gentle Yoga with Gail here on Veterans Yoga Project. It's a 60-minute class. It's meant for beginners. You can do this class either seated on the chair or standing behind the chair or on the yoga mat. You get to you. Now, I have spicy back pain, so I use the chair to get down to the floor and up off the floor. So that's where I use the chair a lot. I also, when we do the standing postures, the warriors. Again, warriors can be done seated, or you can do on the yoga mat or standing behind the chair on the yoga mat. So I will come back up to the screen when we do the guided rest, relaxation, and our gratitude practice. So let's do this. I'm going to stand up and move this front chair out of the way. I've got my yoga block, my strap, which was in the email about the gear that you needed for class. But you know what? If you don't have the gear today, I'm going to send you a copy of the video so you can do the class without gear. And then you can do the class later on in the week with gear. You can kind of notice the differences, okay? So again, I'm going to use the chair to get down onto my back. Those of you that are going to use the chair, come away from the back of the chair, sit nice and firm on your chair. Bend the knees, squeeze the belly button towards your spine, step one foot way back, and I come softly down to that knee. Now I use a blanket because I have a spicy knee. So, if you have a spicy knee, and I'm going to do the floor versions of the postures, get that close by. I'm checking to see where my block, my strap are. They're very close. Sometimes they're way far away, and I'm like, where's my gear? Just happens that way. So we're going to start in constructive rest posture. That's lying on your back with your knees bent. If you have spicy back pain, this is like number one posture for easing tension out of the back. Now, because I have lots of stuff going on with my back, disc degeneration, bulging disc, retrosthesis, spondylosis, SI joint dysfunction. This does not feel comfortable in my body. So what I do is I grab my wrist and I pull the shoulder up and away, and then I do the same with the other side. And then sometimes it does not feel good in the pelvis. So I, walk my feet towards my behind, lift my behind up, and roll my spine back on down to get it a little bit more comfortable. I may also take my hands in the back of the head, lift up, kind of tuck the chin a little bit in towards my chest. So in a traditional Veterans Yoga Project, we do 5 things: breathing, mindful movement, meditation, guided rest, relaxation, and a gratitude practice. Let's do the breathing first, shall we? Whether you're seated on the chair or lying here on your back, knees bent, or on the couch, wherever you're at, let's place one hand low on the belly and the elbow out to the side, and do the other hand on top of that. You may have to wiggle your shoulders a little bit to make the arms feel a little bit comfortable. Let's breathe in through the nose and let the belly rise. So breathe in, belly big. And as you exhale, contract that belly button towards your spine. I'm making a little sound in the back of the throat. It's called the Ujjayi breath or the ocean's breath. And again, breathe in, belly big. Exhale, belly button towards your spine. If you're laying here on your back, let your body just sink into the floor, okay? Again, breathe in, belly big. Exhale, belly button towards the spine. If this feels weird in your body, just go back to your regular breath. One more time. Breathe in, belly big. And exhale. First posture we're going to do is knee to chest pose. If you're seated in the chair, you can either take the hands back behind the knee pit, or take that yoga strap. Now you can do this laying on your back too. Take the yoga strap, kind of fold it in half, and bring the foot along the back or the middle of the yoga strap. So again, if you're seated in the chair, you're going to engage that low core. And then from here, what we'll do is invite the knee in towards the chest. Now I'm using a little bit of strength going on here, not much though. So I'm noticing where the leg is folded into my side body. Is it into the hip crease? Is it into the lower torso? Is it into the ribs? So noticing the range of motion. This particular sequence is to lubricate the knees and the hip joints. So notice if there's little spicy stuff going on here. So from here, let's inhale, belly big. Now as you exhale, contract that belly button and extend that leg out into the air. Now you can rest the back of the heel on the floor if you're doing this seated, by the way, or it can be up in the air, but you're going to have to use a little bit more upper body strength to hold the leg elevated in the air. So you're going to notice, does it feel comfortable being away from the body, or can you bring it a little bit more towards you? You may notice the grip of the back of the leg, the hamstring, Again, stay away from spice. Keep it between the easy and ouch. From here, as we breathe in, belly big, invite the knee in towards the chest. Here we go. Contract that belly button. Exhale, extend that leg out. Again, inhale, knee into chest. Exhaling. Again, breathe in, belly big, knee into chest. So again, we're just getting some emotion going on with the knees, with the hips. You may notice some little crinkly things going on with the knees, with the hips. I've had some tears in my ACL, meniscuses, and all that kind of stuff. So sometimes this feels a little spicy. I'll go a little slower, or I will redirect my attention to the breath as I am moving through the postures. Sometimes that helps. Sometimes it does not. Again, this is to help ease back challenges. This is one of the 40 yoga postures we use for doing that. Again, this can be done seated in the chair if you so choose. You'll need a strap to do this seated in the chair or hands back behind the knee. Let's do one more. Bring the leg out and invite the knee in. Now I'm going to drop my strap, bring my hands back behind my knee, and point and flex my foot. Ooh, feel kind of stiff there on the top of my foot. I don't know if you all do too. And sometimes I can feel my feet doing snap, crackle, pops when I'm doing this also. This helps to build better balance, by the way, when you do isolation of that ankle joint. Let's start some little ankle or foot circles. And I can kind of feel it there on the top of my foot, kind of around the ankle, making little crinkly sounds, little crinkly, snappy sounds. And then reverse. Notice if your reverse feels a little different than the original direction. I can't quite do the reverse. It's like a bigger circle for whatever reason. And then let's relieve this leg, put it back down onto the floor. We're going to do the other side. So again, knee into chest. You have the option of the strap along the bottom of the foot or not. I'm going to demonstrate it with the strap today. And then what you'll notice on this side, second side, how much of this leg is into that hip crease, the side torso, or the ribs. So this is more into my side torso compared to the original side. So there's some like clues. If you have differences in your range of motion, one side versus the other, that there may be some different things going on there. Maybe that hip is weaker, that side is stronger. So things to kind of recognize, okay? So from here, go ahead and extend the leg out into the air. Ooh. So this one feels more comfortable to me being more towards me than it does away from the body. Not that there's, no judgment going on here. Whatever you have going on, that's what's going on, right? So you just kind of do what you can with what you got. All right, from here, let's inhale, knee into chest, and then belly button tight. Exhale, extend that leg. Inhale, knee into chest, and exhale. Now, what I like about using the strap in this particular yoga posture, this sequence, is that I can have that leg go a little bit more far away, but I have that strap to bring it back. So it's my little safety net, okay? If I were doing this without the strap, I may be having to really engage that low core to make that happen. And sometimes vigorous holding of the core gets a little spicy. So, you do you, okay? Again, notice that this is having more sounds, more crinkly things going on with the knee, with the hip. So we're lubricating these major joints here. Very good. Again, this is our gentle yoga for back care class. It's a beginner's class. And yes, you can do these poses seated in the chair if you just came into the classroom. Let's do one more wherever you are. Knee into chest. Extend that leg. And once again, knee into chest. Now again, I'm going to hang on to the back of my knee pit. We can have an armpit. We can have a knee pit, right? Let's point and flex the foot. Ankle isolation for a better balance. Returning blood flow from those extreme places of our body back to the heart. This is also a glucose lowering movement when you pump the calves. And let's start those ankle circles. Ooh. Notice that this side feels a little different than the other side. It might. And then let's reverse, go the other direction. And I can hear my foot popping. Y'all probably can't, but I can. Woo! Couple more. And then release the foot back down to the floor. Very good. From here, we're going to do big toe hold. I can't talk today. It's a bone building exercise. It's one of the 12 yoga postures for building bones, lessening osteopenia, osteoporosis, and it happens to be one of our postures we do for easing back pain. So you got to use the strap, whether you're seated, whether you're on your back. So place, again, the strap along the bottom of the foot and bring the foot towards the sky. Now, what you can do if you're sitting on the yoga mat, you can rest the back of the heel on the floor instead. You do not have to have it in the air. So to make this a dynamic contraction, we got to use some core strength here. Not core strength, but strength in our hands and our upper body and our lower body. We're going to take the yoga strap into our hands and then pull on that strap. Now I'm going to bend my knee towards me and then push the strap away. So it's push and pull. You may feel, if you're lying on your back, that low back being firmly into the floor. Woo! Now I'm trying to line up my foot with the top of my ankle, my shin. If I'm seated, I'm resting the back of the heel on the floor, and I'm dynamically pulling and pushing this. Now, to have the bone building benefit, BBB, you have to hold this about 30 seconds. So you get to listen to me talk. How about that? I know, not what you were looking forward to, I can tell. And you may notice your hands starting to go, whoo, okay, grip strength, yes. You may notice your biceps, your triceps. Now, what some folks do, they go out and buy a loop strap instead, put the hands in the loop, or bring the hands down the towel or that strap towards your body and then wrap the wrists and then re-engage your strong dynamic contraction to really get into the bones here. So again, when you contract the big muscle groups and you hold those contractions for at least 30 seconds to 112 seconds, that initiates bone growth. So bone growth is initiated by the use of your muscles. Okay, now the other foot, what's the other foot doing? Nothing. Let's tap, tap, tap. And we're going to take that other foot and drop it out to the side. Now, if you're sitting on the chair, maybe you come up on the ball of the foot and take the leg out to the side. It's a counterweight. This leg that's in the sky, drop it towards the floor. So the objective here is to keep both back sides of the buns on the floor, not lifted, not curved or curled up. And you're pulling, pushing into that leg. We're kind of working that hip joint at a different angle. Big toe hold, leg out to the side. And hello, grip strength in the forearms, upper arms. Maybe you're feeling this a little bit in the back. Maybe you're feeling that nice little inner thigh stretch with the other leg. Maybe not. Maybe it's not nice. I hope it's nice. Again, staying here for about 30 seconds. But you know what? You can come out of the pose anytime you want to, need to. Just know that, all right? It's okay. Don't have to stay in a place that makes you feel kind of icky or like, I don't get it, yeah? Bring it back to the center. Take that strap off and bring the hands in front of you. Clap the hands. Oh, do that again. And get some circulation, please, going on with the hands. Oh, my. Feels kind of spicy there. Plus, if the room's cold, we're getting a little bit of heat here in the hands. Very nice. You know what? We got to do the other side, of course, right? You probably thought I forgot. I may have forgot. Let's move the strap into the other side. I got to lift up to make that happen on this side. And again, I got to kind of that halfway point with my strap, resting the back of the heel on the floor if you're doing this seat in the chair. I'm going to pull, and then I'm going to bend my knee and push the leg away. Now, you can always have a little bend in the knee if it's spicy in the back of the knee, but then you're going to feel it more in the calf and the hamstring. That's okay, right? Right? Now, you're going to notice, okay, top of the foot aligned with the ankle, the shin, so you don't want it like turned out to the side. You want to line it up. It may feel more spicy when you line it up. And just breathe. Breathe in through that nose and out through the nose. Now, I'm going to bring my hands up the strap or towards me and then wrap my wrists and then pull, push. So that way I don't have my arms more towards my feet, they're more towards my torso. And I'm pulling and pushing vigorously into this side. Maybe I'm going to invite it a little bit more towards me. Woo! So when I bring the leg a little bit more towards me, lying on my back, it gets a little bit more spicy in the back of the hamstring. That's okay. Keep it between easy and outs though, right? And again, you're resting on the back of the heel if you're doing this seated on the chair. Now you need to make sure your behind feels okay when you do this, when you sit on the chair. So you may have to kind of move that around a little bit to make it more comfortable. Let me just put that out there, okay? Again, we got to stay in the posture, in case you forgot, at least 30 seconds to have that bone building benefit. Woo! I have several people in here who have been with me since the beginning of us being on the Wellness Living platform. That's both Dan and Joseph, probably Richard too. Miss Vicky, I don't know if she's here today, but they've been with me for a long time. I've been teaching for Veterans Yoga Project since March 13th, 2020. I was invited to teach on Facebook Live. Then we moved over to Mind Body Online, and for the past 2 years or so, we've been on Wellness Living. All right, we're going to shift this into the second version of the pose. We're going to tap, tap, tap that other foot, and then drop the knee out to the side. Half of a windshield wiper. The leg that's in the sky, drop it out to the side. Now I've got the wall here, but you know what? I can't go any further. Again, I'm pulling and pushing into that yoga strap, feeling that dynamic contraction of the back of the knee, the calf, the hamstring, a little bit of the behind, a little bit of the booty. Definitely in my hands, my forearms, a little bit of my bicep, triceps, a little bit of my shoulders. Breathing in and out, looking at my foot, waiting for 30 seconds to pass on by. Woo! Again, we're going to be offering a class on Fridays at 1 p.m. So I have put in the chat line the different options. I'll do that again at the end of the class. And in the follow-up email, if I could get, responses, what y'all would want for a second class in this same time slot. And you know what? I think that's it. Bring it back to the center. Bring the other leg back to the center. Release the strap from the hands. Yay, my favorite part. Clap the hands. Get some circulation going back on. Okay, I'm going to demonstrate the next one seated in the chair, but for people laying on your back, let me just show you real quick. Take your yoga block, take the medium width in between the legs. You don't need the yoga strap on this one, but eventually we're going to be doing some dynamic movements to strengthen the upper and lower back musculature. Now I'm going to show this one on the chair because it's hard to demonstrate this on the floor and translate that to the chair, but it's the same type of movements. So let me get on the chair, and y'all going, okay, what's this? So you can see me you can see me. So we have the block in between our legs. Again, you can be on the floor doing this, all right? Go back to constructive rest posture. And what we'll do is heel toe the feet in, so you feel that nice contraction in the inner thighs. This is to strengthen the hip musculature. Again, this is part of reducing back pain, all right? And then what we'll do is, let me think here, we're going to do what's called the golfer's grip. This is why I want to demonstrate this. We have hands, fingers up, spread out the fingers. We're going to fold the fingers into the pad of the hands, if that makes sense. And then we line up the top of the hand with the forearm so we don't have cocked wrists, all right? We have the thumbs kind of pointing out like hitchhiker thumbs. I can't quite get the ones down on the one hand, but eventually I do. So what we'll do is bring the hands out in front of us, like we're a super person here. And you do this also if you're lying on your back, all right? Then you bend the elbows, place the back of the arms on the floor, squeeze the shoulders. You're seated on the chair. They're parallel to the floor. You're squeezing the upper back musculature. So what we're doing here, press firmly into the floor with the feet, squeeze that block. Very good. So we're going to squeeze the shoulders, push the shoulders into the floor and release. Squeeze and release. Keep squeezing the block consistently. You can also do a little extra squeeze if you want. Squeeze and release. Squeeze and release. One more. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Now, clap the hands in front of your chest. Get some circulation going back on. This is actually a little bit more difficult to do seated in the chair. We're going to interlace the fingers, arms super straight. Now, if you're lying on your back, you're going to let those shoulders come back to the floor, all right? So with super straight arms, belly button tight, squeezy block, maybe walk those feet in. We're going to raise those arms up overhead. And you're going to go wherever your range of motion allows you to go. Just kind of notice where you are with this. I'm going to go translate this back down to the floor. Arms overhead.
Frankly, I don't think the VA should have his photograph in any facility because it elicits PTSD.
We got somebody that needs to mute. And then from here, belly button tight, we're going to bring our hands back in front of our chest. And then release the hands, clap the hands, rub those hands. And let's go back to the golfer's grip. We fold the fingers into the pad of the hands, do both, turn the thumbs towards the center, and then we're going to bend the elbows, parallel arms to the floor if you're seated, and we're going to press the shoulders into the floor, squeeze the shoulders towards one another, squeeze that block and release, squeeze and release, 3 more, squeeze and release, 2 more, squeeze and release, 1 more, squeeze and release. Hands in front of your chest, clap your hands, rub into those hands, get that feeling going back on. Let's interlace the fingers, squeeze the palms, lower those shoulders if you're lying on your back. Okay, here we go. Squeeze the belly button towards the spine, bring the arms up and overhead slowly. Notice where your range of motion, if it's increasing or not. So mine's now down by the sides of my head. You may want to wiggle your thumbs. Keep squeezing that block nice and consistently with a super squeeze belly button towards your spine. Bring the hands back in front of your chest. Once you're there, unlace the fingers, clap the hands, get some feeling going back on. Very good. Let's do that golfer's grip one more time. Fold the fingers into the pad of the hand, both sides. Turn the thumbs towards the center, kind of like your super person here. And then bend those elbows, parallel arms to the floor. Now we've got the back of the arms resting on the floor if you're doing this lying on the floor. Here we go. Press the shoulders towards one another. Squeeze that block and release. Keep squeezing the block though. Press and release. Press and release. 2 more. Press and release. Last one. Press and release. All right, hands in front of you. Clap the hands. Relax the squeeze of the block just a little bit. Not much though. Last time. Interlace those fingers. Make the elbows the same. Drop the shoulders if you're lying on your back. Squeeze that belly button towards your spine. All right, bring the arms up and overhead. Don't bend the elbows. Again, one shoulder may stop you from doing too much, and that's okay. And wiggle those thumbs. So mine was able to have me touch the thumbs on the floor. Sometimes that happens, sometimes it does not. Again, belly button, core, nice and contracted. Here we go. Bring it back in front of your chest. Woo! Once it's there in front of your chest, clap the hands, rub those hands. Very nice. Take that block out. And then for those of us lying on the floor, let's kind of walk the feet towards our behind, lift up, then turn. That's good if you have that SI joint dysfunction. Then you're going to lay over on your side. And you can take that hand in front of you, press into that hand, extend that top leg to come up. Sometimes you can get dizzy when you've been lying and you come up to the vertical. So take a break here, just a tiny little break, and then proceed to being seated. Now this next one can be done seated on the chair or seated on the floor. Again, I've got spicy stuff going on because I've got a big old scoliosis. So I use a towel or a yoga blanket and I fold it up into thirds to get a little bit of height going on there, lots of comfort. And what I'm going to do is put this on my yoga mat, and I'm going to sit on the edge of that. That's to help tilt my pelvis forward. And you know what? I'm going to get my block close by because, again, I've got some spicy knee stuff. This is a reason for having 2 blocks. Sometimes our knees are way up here. That's okay. You can rest your block underneath for comfort, and especially, again, if you've got some stuff going on, right? So we're going to do unsupported twists. So in some of the other yoga classes that you take, and maybe some in-person classes, and if you need to have a leg be out, you know, make it comfortable for you today, okay? They'll talk about, okay, we're going to take your arm over to a leg, and I want you to twist. Okay, so those of us with back challenges, that's not a cool thing because you may twist more than what you should. So we're going to let our thoracic spine do all the work by doing unsupported twists. Okay, so you're going to see what I'm saying by that. All right, so again, I'm going to try to get comfortable here. Sometimes that's mission impossible. That feels okay. Okay, so from here, similar to what we did lying on the floor, seated on the chair just a moment ago, we're going to engage the upper back muscles. So we're going to do letter W, arms. And so I'm squeezing those shoulders towards my spine. So you should feel that, contraction of the upper body musculature. Joe, is that a thumbs up? You can feel that? Okay, great. All right. So from here, you're going to pick a side, and we're basically going to use the mid-spine to twist. We keep the chin aligned with the spine when we do this. So first, breathe in, belly big. Exhale, belly button tight, and then twist towards one direction. Again, try to keep that chin aligned with the chest. You may lose the outside arm, just kind of re-squeeze it the best you can. And then stay here, breathe in, belly big. Exhale, contract that belly button, come back to heart center. Woo! We're going to stay here, breathe in, belly big, squeeze those shoulders. And then exhale, twist over to the other side. So we're letting that thoracic spine do the twisting, not the levered twist, okay? Breathe in, belly big. Exhale back to center and release. So that's a lot of muscular contraction going on with the upper body. So for lessening the dowager's hump, that little hump that we can kind of get when we're doing the eye devices or, the smart devices when we're kind of hunched over, we're going to work that upper body musculature. Again, a contributor to back pain. Shrug the shoulders up, make it look funny. Squeeze those shoulders. Very nice. Now we're going to twist halfway with the shoulders up. Looks weird, feels kind of strengthy here, and relax them down. Whew, that's my favorite part. Return back to the center. Let's do the other side. But first, shrug them up towards your ears. Get it squeezy, okay? Looks weird, I know. And then twist over to the other side. Oh yeah, there you go, there you go. And release them down and relax back to the center. Beautiful. We're going to do side lateral flexion while we are here. Again, you're seated in a chair. You're not back into the chair. You're kind of scooted forward a little bit. You may want to switch out the legs, or you may want to transfer to a chair or do standing version of this. That works too. A lot of folks will stand on some of these things instead. After this, we'll be doing oppositional reach and flowy cat-cow. From here, inhale, circle sweep arms up. Up, 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 up. Now, you can take the hand back behind you and squeeze the shoulder or fingertips out to the side. So I've dropped one hand out to the side, and then we're going to reach up, belly button tight, exhale, lean the side body over. So keep both buns on the floor. So you should feel a little contraction or stretch going on from the armpit down to the hip, maybe. Then we're going to inhale up, exhale back to the center, and float it down. Now, again, arm can be back behind you. It could be out to the side or underneath the chair. We're doing that version. Again, circle sweep arms up, breathe in. Let's drop the other one. I'm going to do this one out to the side this time. And then inhale, reach, 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 reach. Exhale, fingertip out, and then bring that side body over. This is like grabbing the can on the top shelf kind of movement, yeah? And then inhaling, let's walk it back. And then exhale, float it down. Shrug those shoulders alternatively here and reverse. We started about 4 minutes later than normal, so, we'll make this a 60-minute class. So if you need to leave early, that's fine, okay? Just know that, all right? So we're going to transition onto hands and knees. Again, if you're doing the seated version, stay on the chair, yeah? Now, for this one, I like to have the blanket for that one particular knee. So I know it's not like a required piece of gear for doing the class, but it's good to have for those circumstances where you're going, oh yeah, remember, my knees do give me some challenges. Again, the average age in this class today is 60. So if you're vintage like me, you probably have some things that are kind of giving you some challenges, yeah? So coming onto your hands and knees, typical traditional cat-cow is curving the spine to the top of the room and dropping the belly down, flaring the tailbone. Those of us with back challenges, kyphosis, lordosis, we need to do a safer version of that same pose. So what that would be is walking the hands forward, spreading out those hands like little starfish, and then I bring my knees a little bit wider. You can be on tops of the feet or curly toes. Then let's sink the behind, forearms on the floor, behind towards your heels. Now this, I got to bring the elbows towards my knees a little bit, my forearms a little bit wider. That allows me to get a little bit closer. From here, what we do for flowy cat-cow, again, extension and flexion of the spine, but a safer version. We're going to inhale, drag our nose up in between the arms. Once we get to about wrist level with that nose, we're going to contract the belly button and then peel the forearms off the yoga mat, shift forward, and then curve the spine to the top of the room, exhaling, bringing us back down towards the heels, forearms on the yoga mat. We're going to do that again. Inhale, drag your nose in between the hands. Contract the belly button, lift the forearms off, shift a little forward, curve the spine to the top of the room. Exhale, come back down to the heels. Again, inhale, drag yourself forward. Contract the belly button, lift those forearms off. Come forward a little bit, curve the spine to the top of the room, come back on down. One more time, here we go. Inhale, drag yourself forward. Your cow version of the pose. Forearms off, curve your spine to the top of the room, back of the chair, exhale. Beautiful. Now come back to hands underneath and knees underneath the hips. For oppositional reach, we activate the multifidus muscle, which is the deepest held layer of our back muscles. When your multifidi is not properly used, it turns to fat. It recruits other muscles to do the work, thus causing back pain. So you hear about the erector spinae and other muscles like that, but this is the deepest held layer. Let's see if you can feel this one, okay? I'm going to bring my chair close by because I think I want to demonstrate this one too. Eventually. So what we'll do, we'll be on our hands and knees. Once again, I got my cushion for my yoga blanket. And we're going to take our right arm up by our ear, whether you're seated or on the yoga mat. And then that left leg, extend it. And I'm going to push my heel to the back of the room. See where I'm at with that piece of equipment there. I'm going to shift a little forward there. Now from here, if you're seated, you're going to bring the knee in towards your chest. Lift the foot off the floor. Those of us on the yoga mat, lift the heel, extending from one foot to the fingers, and release. Now, I'm going to demonstrate this next one, the other side with the chair. So, with the other side, you're going to take the other arm towards your ear, okay, and extend that opposite leg to the edge of the yoga mat. If you're seated, you're going to lift that opposite foot up, and then if you're on the yoga mat, lift the opposite leg off the yoga mat. So you're extending from the opposite finger to the opposite toes and release. You're going to feel it more in your hips when you do the seated version as opposed to being on your hands and knees. We're going to do this coordinated with the breath now. So here we go. Inhaling, an opposite arm and leg extends out. Arm in the air. Exhale, lift the leg, lift the arm. Inhale, arm and leg back on down. Exhale, back to heart center. Let's do the other side. Inhale, lengthen opposite arm and leg outward. Exhale, belly button tight, arm and leg up. Inhale, arm and leg back on down. Exhale, arms back, knees back. We're going to come up to standing now. I'm going to use my chair to come up to standing. Again, because I have that spicy back pain. And we'll do our warrior postures. Let me move that blanket out of the way. We'll do some warriors. We'll do tree posture. We might do chair pose. I'm not sure. I'm checking the time here. And I'm just going to have that yoga block close by. So let me demonstrate the seated versions. But if you want to get prepped up for the standing, feet wide, lift the heel, turn the foot, and bend the knee. So if you want to just kind of stay there for a moment, let me demonstrate the seated version. So the seated version is stepping the leg out to the side, shifting over to that side. To make this more dynamic, you just don't have your feet here. You press firmly into the floor. Now we naturally turn to the center when we're seated. So we're going to turn the torso out and over the leg in front of us. So again, vigorous feet into the ground. You're feeling your quadriceps, your calves activated, okay? Your feet might kind of, move away a little bit. Now I use the chair when I do the warrior postures because I'm quite wiggly. So you don't have to use the chair. But again, the feet step wide, lift the heel, turn the foot, bend the knee. And I use the chair to kind of go out a little bit more. Totally optional, okay, folks? Notice to see if your toes are aligned with your knee. Maybe bend the knee a little bit more, maybe not. And then the other foot, people say, oh, you need to have it turned in or whatever. I don't care, just have it firm, okay? And again, like I mentioned here on the floor or the chair, We're just not standing here. We're dynamically standing here. So what do I mean by that? So imagine there's a wrinkle on the floor. Of course, we don't like wrinkles, right? No. So we're going to think about pressing down and pressing away to get into that hip musculature. So again, this is part of the bone building and for lessening back pain. So strengthening this hip musculature, the bones, the muscles in the lower part of the body. And then we're going to go back to that golfer's grip. Yeah, we are. So fold those fingers. And again, top of the hand aligned with the forearm. Letter W. So we're squeezing the upper body musculature. So we're activating lower body and upper body. And then extend those arms out into a letter T. Now you can always do one arm at a time. Just know that, okay? Now from here, it's going to be interesting. We're going to draw circles forward and back behind us, squeezing the upper body. Squeeze the upper body, okay? Whew. Firm feet into the floor. Don't forget that. Whether you're seated, whether you're standing. Again, you can hang on if you want to. Hang onto the wall. Keep it going. Keep it going. This is part of our posture alignment to help us have backs that feel better. 3 more. 3, 2, and 1. Shake it out. Now we're staying in the warrior 2 legs to increase that bone building benefit. Or if you need to take a break, straighten that leg, go right back into it. Okay, we took a break. Let's do side lateral flexion while we're here. So re-squeeze the shoulders, just regular hands here. Arms out, flat arms. And then we're going to do a palm up, reach a little forward and scoop the hand up into the sky. You can hang onto the chair, hand on the hip, hand down the leg. Same thing with seated on the chair. Lean forward, arm up to the air. If you look up and it makes you dizzy, look forward instead, okay? All right, that's enough of this leg business. Softly straighten, pivot the foot, walk it in. That's why I like the chair. If I go a little bit too wide, then I can use the chair to come back on in. Oh, I tipped over my Tai Chi ball there. Okay, oh well. Step those feet wide and heel toe out. And can lift the heel, turn the foot, bend the knee. So if you were taking the Tai Chi class with me last week and the week before, this is the other class that I teach. So let's go back to those golfer grips. So fold the fingers, okay? Get them as best you can. Letter W. You know what? Check your knee, foot alignment. Okay, it's a nice aligned. Maybe bend it a little bit more. Again, you're switching over to the other side, seated on the chair. Step the foot out. So here we go. Letter T. Now we had the thumbs forward before. Thumbs up, thumbs to the back of the room. Ooh, that feels interesting. Again, think about the feet. Push down and away. Engage those shoulders. Draw circles behind you. Woo! And forward. So there's this little oscillation that's happening here. Little wiggling upper body, lower body. Firm feet into the floor. Squeeze those shoulders. I mean squeeze. Squeeze. Where your pain is not typically where the problem is. It may be a referred pain. Just kind of know that. That's why we work on building both upper and lower body strength. 3 more. 3, 2, and 1. Shake it out. Keep the warrior 2 legs going. If you need to take a break, go ahead and straighten. Go right back into it. Firm feet, push them away. Okay. Arms squeezy. Flat palms. Palm up on the other side. Reach out and up into the sky. Hand down the leg, hand on the hip, hand on the chair. When you do these, sometimes air escapes like burping and other things. Just know that, okay? That's normal. Float the arm down, straighten that leg, pivot the foot, walking in. Woo! Okay, shake it out. Now, tree pose. Let's try tree pose. Let me demonstrate the chair version of tree pose, okay? Then we take that yoga block and we step a foot on it, and then we turn the leg out to the side. Now I'm going to bring that yoga block in just a little bit more, more towards the chair. That way I still vigorously press into the feet, into the floor, both versions, still getting that little angle going on here. Now seated, you're more likely to squeeze the shoulders and bring the arms up. Standing, you can do several things here. Let me come over to the other side of the chair. Step a foot out, lift the heel, turn the foot out to the side, lay it down. The balance foot, make it point towards 12 o'clock. Okay, lift the heel, walk it in. Now this may be your tree pose. Make sure you're not jutting your hip out, okay? Line it up. And then maybe you can bring it into the calf. Maybe you can bring it into the inner thigh. Let's see if this one will work today. Oh, it will. But I got slippery pants on. I'm going to bring it back down. Very good. And then, oh, I'm using my wall. I'm quite wiggly on this. Arms can go up. Again, this is another bone building yoga posture, which again is one of the postures for easing back pain. You can do one arm or two arms. Notice the dance of the foot if it's happening. Notice the heart rate. Keep breathing. And release. Move a little bit side to side. If you're doing the chair version, scoot the block over to the other side. And I'm just moving over to, I'm going to do this one on the wall. I like to do these on the wall sometimes. So hand on the wall, step the foot out, lift the heel, turn the foot out to the side. Make sure the balancing one is pointed towards 12 o'clock. Then I'll walk that foot in. So this one allows me to have a little bit, I have the wall here to, as my backup. I feel a little bit more balanced when I do this. Now, sometimes that side leg turns towards the front of the room. Just invite it to be out to the side, okay? So we get into that hip musculature at that angle. Reach up, do what you can with what you got today. Breathe, breathe, breathe. And release. Beautiful. All right. So this next one is an 8 movement meditation. Again, this can be done seated on the chair or standing. So I'm going to move my stuff out of the way. All right. So I have feet pointed towards 12 o'clock, whether you're seated on the chair. Come away from the back of the chair if you're doing this one, okay? And from here, we're going to inhale, gather the arms in. Exhale, raise them up to shoulder level. Inhale, expand them outwards. Exhale, bring them in towards the front. Inhale, float them towards your chest. Exhale, push them forward. Inhale, let them lower. Exhale, out to the side. Let's do that again. Inhale, gather in. Exhale, rise. Inhale, expand outwards. Exhale, contract the arms inward. Inhale, flow it towards your chest. Exhale, flow it forward. Inhale, lower. Exhale, out to the side. Inhale, circle, sweep arms up. Bend the knees, bend the elbows, chair pose. If you're seated in the chair, press firmly into the chair. Don't lift your booty, but feel the contraction of the lower body. Inhale, circle, sweep arms up, straighten up. Exhale, bend the knees, bend the elbows, belly button tight. Inhale, circle, sweep arms up. Exhale, bend the elbows, bend the knees. Stay here, stay here. Be engaged in the pose. Belly button tight, feet firm to the floor, feeling the behind, the quadriceps, the hamstrings, the calves. Stay here, wiggle a little bit. And one more time, breathe in, circle, sweep arms up. And then exhale, hands to heart center. Beautiful. We're going to come down to the floor. And again, I'm going to use my chair to come down to the floor. Typically, we do a pose called notice pose, but we didn't do that earlier. So we'll do that next time. Again, this class is every other week. Share Tai Chi, gentle yoga for low back care. Again, let's go back into constructive rest pose. So we're getting ready to be in that guided rest relaxation. So I'm going to bring my chair close by because I like this specific reason coming up. So let's lie on our back, knees bent. And just notice what you notice here. Does it feel more melted into the floor? You probably won't notice this too much seated in the chair, though. We're going to do piriformis bounce and pigeon before we end class today because I want people to feel a little bit of sciatica relief, okay? So we're going to take one of our legs up in the air, shake it. Shake, shake, shake. Whether you're seated on the chair, you can wiggle it. You can stomp your foot on the floor if you're seated on the chair. And then you're either going to cross at the ankle bone or on top of the thigh. Now, let's see. I don't know where my block is. There's my block. Of course, it's way far away. Making sure I still have all my gear here. And then what we're going to do with the top leg is we're going to bounce it. Now, if you're seated on the chair, you're probably pulling the leg towards you and letting it drop, okay? Because you don't have much range of motion sitting on your behind seated on the chair. So we Get the piriformis nice and warmed up, because sometimes that sciatic nerve is entrapped or on the side of the piriformis muscle, or it's caught in the pelvic notch, causing pain, numbness in someplace in the leg or the low back. Okay, got that all bouncy, right? Yeah, okay, and then make it nice and still. We're going to tap, tap, tap the bottom foot, tap, tap, tap bottom foot, and then firmly press bottom foot into the floor. So we've got a nice muscular contraction going on. With the top leg, wherever it's at, we're going to point the toes towards the knee to make the ligaments line up nice around the knee and the calf. And then we're going to squeeze both buns. Now I'm going to take my hand and press the leg away, or take my yoga block and press the leg away. If you're seated, you're sitting up nice and tall, and you would hinge gently forward. You're going to feel it in that behind more so than this here laying on the floor. But remember, press that bottom foot vigorously into the floor, top toes pointed towards your knee. Both buns squeeze and pressing the leg away. Stay here. Keep breathing, which may seem impossible. Very nice. Let's release. Woo! Bounce the leg. Relax the foot. Take the leg back up into the air. Shake that leg and release it down. Let's do the other side. Get your block close by. Other leg up into the air. Shake, shake, shake. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Whether you're seated in the chair or you're laying on your back, and then either cross at the ankle bone, knee out to the side, or slide it on top of the thigh, and let's bounce the leg, or pull it towards you, or use your yoga block to bounce the leg. If you're seated though, you just take your hand, kind of wiggle that leg, get that piriformis muscle kind of a little warmed up. Got to warm it up before we really give it a nice little workout, nice little contraction. Okay, so we're going to make that all be still. We're going to take that bottom foot, tap, tap, tap into that bottom foot, and then press the bottom foot firmly into the floor. You may feel a little traction feeling going with your low back and your foot. Cool. Top foot, point your toes towards your nose, squeeze both buns, press top leg away. You can use your block to kind of enhance that. Now keep it between the easy and the ouch. If you're seated, you're sitting up tall, and you're hinging towards your leg on top. It's going to be spicy, so let's breathe. Breathe in. Press that bottom foot firmly into the floor. Don't lose it. Don't lose it. Top toes pointed towards your knee. Everything contracted in that lower body. Again, this is for easing sciatica. Are you shaking yet? Maybe. Okay, relax everything. Yay. Shake the top leg. Wiggle it up in the air. All right. So this next one is called block bridge. We got to do this one. Now this one's not as effective seated on the chair. You're going to take, hopefully your chair doesn't have an open back like mine does, but you're going to take your block here in the back and press your low behind against that block. Those of us here on the floor, walk your feet towards your behind, lift your behind up, slide that block underneath. If you don't have a block, you can just have your behind on the floor. Now I feel crunchy here, so I take my my head and lift it and my shoulders away. All right, from here, whether you're seated, whether you're on your back, you can use your strap if you're going to do this seated. It might be easier. But you're going to raise a leg off the ground and shake that leg. So this is a inversion or upside down pose. So that means this particular one is good for organ prolapse, whether it's the rectum, the bladder, the male, the female parts. So you give all those, pelvic organs a little rest here. So that's a good thing, yeah? A lot of people don't talk about that, but I'm going to talk about that in this class because this pose is nice for easing tension going on in that area. All right, and then wiggle it side to side. If you haven't wiggled it side to side, I think that feels weird, but that's just me. And release it down. Let's do the other one. Bring the other leg up. Here we go. Now, when we do both legs, that's where the strap comes in handy if you're seated on the chair, because I find it kind of impossible to shake both legs unless I'm just stomping them on the floor. That works too, though, okay? And then side to side. We kind of make this up as we go along. However you want to shake your legs, wiggle your legs, please do so. And shake, shake, shake. You know what? Add the other one to the mix. Yeah, both if you can. Shake them, wiggle them. Yeah. Woo. And then bring one down. You may feel some little energy going on. Yeah. And then the other one. Now, if you're laying on your back, you're going to kind of press into the floor, raise up, peel that block out, lower your spine back on down, kind of notice how that feels. It might be yummy. And you know what? Go ahead and extend one leg, then the other. Again, you're not going to feel this as effective seated in the chair. So at home, folks, do this on your bed or couch if you don't like to get down to the floor so you can get the same kind of feeling, okay? And just notice the surface that you're on, the chair, the floor. We're going to go towards that guided rest and relaxation, but I wanted to show you one more yoga posture before we do that. So if you do have a chair, lightweight chair, what I like to do during final relaxation or guided rest or yoga nidra, oh, this is great for yoga nidra. I'll take that metal chair, that lightweight chair, that kitchen chair, and then I'll kind of get my behind close to it and I'll cartwheel the legs up onto the chair. Now why I do this with back stuff? Because you get a nice traction feeling. So I'm going to walk my upper body away a little bit and then arms out to the side. Now what I sometimes do, maybe I'm going to make a little adjustment there. There you go. I'll cross the ankle so I know that that leg won't come down to the floor because I get super relaxed when I get here. Or legs extended. But again, those of us with back challenges, maybe what you're going to do, instead of legs extended, you have the legs as wide as a yoga mat and you drop the knees in. Or maybe you come up to a seated place on the couch, wherever you need to be. Some folks put their legs up the wall. I'll demonstrate that another time. But I invite you to get comfortable, whatever that might mean for you today. So again, whether it's seated in the chair, getting comfortable, maybe you've got a blanket you can cover up with, because we're doing our guided rest and relaxation. I'm coming up to the front of the room for this part of the class. Again, just notice that you're breathing. Don't change it in any way. Just notice, what does it feel like to breathe in? What does it feel like to breathe out? Notice the rise and fall of the body as you breathe in and as you breathe out. So notice if there's any kind of like sticky places in the body. Like sometimes it's my right leg and I'll just kind of shake that leg a little bit and extend it out a little bit more. And of course I have to do the other side, right? Notice if the shoulders feel like up towards your ears, just kind of melt them away from your ears a little bit, little shoulder wiggles going on. Hands can rest on your torso or out to the side or maybe resting in your lap if you're seated in the chair. You can scooch back in the chair, cross the legs, get a little bit more comfortable. All right, now I invite you to either gaze softly or gaze down at the floor or close the eyes. So part of our 5 tools that we do in Veterans Yoga Project is the guided rest and relaxation. So that's to help lessen stress, ease pain, and kind of get you out of your monkey mind. You're thinking about the 85 other things you want to do. Well, we're going to get you a little bit more focus on the inner instead of the outer. So I invite you to notice your right thumb. So what you'll do is you'll say in your brain, right thumb, you'll visualize right thumb, and you'll shift your attention to your right thumb, okay? And then I'll move on to other places in the body. Right index finger, middle finger, ring finger, pinky finger, right palm, wrist, lower arm, right elbow, upper arm, shoulder, right side chest, right side waist, right leg, shin, top of the foot, right big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe. Shift all of your attention to the right side of the body, just the right side. Just notice the right side of the body. Good. Let's shift our attention from the right side over to the left side, starting with the left hand thumb. Again, you'll say left hand thumb, you'll think it, you'll visualize it, you'll shift your attention there. Left index, middle finger, ring finger, left pinky finger, left palm, forearm, elbow, left upper arm, shoulder, left side chest, left side waist, left leg, top of the left foot, left big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, left pinky toe. Once again, notice just the left side of the body. Let the right side drop out. Notice the left side of the body. Good. Let's move all of our attention, all of our awareness to the back places of our body, starting with the back of the head, right shoulder, left shoulder, upper back, mid back, low back, right hip, left hip, the back side of the right arm, the back side of the left arm, the back side of the right leg, the back side of the left leg. Notice that sensation of support, whether you're lying on your back, legs on the chair, seated on the chair. Again, notice feeling very heavy, very weighted, very supported in the back places of your body. Now let's contrast that to the front places of our body. Our arms are light, the legs are light, you're feeling air coming across the skin. Contrasting feeling light in the body versus feeling very heavy, supported in the body. Going back to feeling very light, very heavy. Good. From here, I invite you to come back into the now, back into the present moment. If you're lying on your back, if your legs are on the chair, bend your knees, bring them in towards your chest. If you're seated here on the chair, bring the feet wide. And if you're lying on your back, let's do a little knee circles. If you're up here on the chair, little shoulder circles. Get some circulation going on. This feels awfully yummy for the back for most folks. Again, knees into chest. The legs can be apart. They can be together. And then let's pause and let's go in the other direction. So get that shape going in the other direction. You might find some little sticky spots. You may want to stay there, kind of go back and forth, and then proceed with your little body circle. Very nice. Very good. All right, so bring the feet back down to the floor. If you're seated, you stay where you're at. If you're lying on your back, I invite you to roll over onto your side. Slowly come up to that seated place. Now, sometimes, again, we can be dizzy, so just, drop your chin towards your chest. It's also a nice little upper back neck stretch going on there, and that often makes us feel a little bit less kind of wiggly here. And then bring the chin back on up. So we're going to do a few little Tai Chi movements just to get the range of motion in our upper neck, shoulders, okay? So hands together, this is called swimming dragon if you haven't done this before. So we're going to breathe in, belly big. And then exhale, push the arms one direction, turn the head the other direction. Don't force it. Just stay there, breathe in. Exhale back to the center. Stay here, breathe in, belly big. Belly button tight. Exhale, push the hands one direction, the head the other direction. Stay here, breathe in, belly big. Back to the heart center, exhale. Beautiful. Next is called spread the feathers. Again, we're going to invite more blood flow into the brain, lessen brain fog, all that kind of stuff. If I could talk, it'd be dangerous. We're going to spread the hands out like little starfish. Take the arm out to the side. And see if you all see that. Yeah. Then I usually have my arm a little bit lower, but I want you to see it in the camera. You take the thumb and turn it to the back of the room. You take your opposite ear, drop it towards your shoulder, and then lift the chin up. Now we're going to do what I call a smile. We're going to take our chin, bring it towards our chest and towards the extended arm side. So your chin drawing a little half smile or a little U. Back down towards your chest, back towards that opposite side, and release. Let's do the other side. So arm out to the other side. And returning the thumb to the top of the rim. Again, little bicep shoulder action going on here. Drop your opposite ear towards your shoulder and then lift the chin. More blood flow into the brain, folks. And we're going to take that chin, drop it towards your chest and towards the extended arm side. Very gently, very slowly. Back down towards your chest. Here we go. And back towards that opposite side. And release. Very good. From here, take the hands, and we're going to tap, tap, tap the outside of the hands. This is to lessen headache and vertigo. So these are traditional Chinese medicine meridians that we're activating here. Now, not whapping, we're just tapping, okay? And then we're going to do the inner webs of our thumbs. That's for digestive disorders and nausea. So we tap, tap, tap into the webs of the thumbs, okay? Let the fingers relax when you do that. And then flip it. Do the other way. So your brain kind of goes, what? So a little brain activation going on there. So the interwebs of the fingers is for pain, lessening pain, and numbness in the limb. So if you've got rings, be careful. So we're going to tap, tap, tap into those valleys. Again, it's not to be a painful thing. It's just, tapping, okay? And then you're going to wiggle that top finger and switch the other finger to be on top. Usually brains just kind of go crazy there and tap, 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 because it's like, that's not the normal way I interlace my fingers. Again, building new neural pathways, okay? Then we're going to do the pulse points. This is for heart and cardiovascular issues. So we're going to take those pulse points and tap, tap, tap into those. Again, it's not whapping, it's tapping. And then flip it and do the other one. Some folks will put their hand on their leg and do this, but I like to do it in the air. And that's okay. Back of the hand is for lessening osteoarthritis, back pain. So you got to cup the top hand, okay, and tap softly on the back of the hand. Now, if you got rings, you may want to tilt them a little bit more towards the edge instead of flat on top. Makes a nice little sound. Let's do the other one. Again, cup that hand. So I got a ring here, so I'm going to curve it a little bit more. Makes the veins pop out too, especially if you need a blood draw. Weird fact, yeah? Then we're going to do the back of the wrist. That's for neck and shoulder pain. So again, a cupped hand, tap, tap, tap. So we do more of this in our chair Tai Chi class if you haven't been to that yet. So that's next week, by the way. And let's go over to the other one. I've got my watch here, so I'm going to move it up a little bit. It's usually more towards my wrist than it is up on my arm, just because of the watch. And if you tend to have issues with going to sleep, we're going to go into the what do you call this? The elbow pit, right? So we're going to slap the elbow pit for lessening insomnia. It's kind of spicy, though. And I turn my head to look at this. I don't know why I do that. It's just kind of funny. And then my favorite, make a fist into the palm. Woo! Stress, anxiety, improves clarity, consciousness. Makes a nice little sound. Let's do the other one. Notice which side's more strong than the other. This is my weaker side. Or maybe it's not. Clap the hands. Get circulation going back on. All right, so next is our gratitude practice. So I invite you to place your hands to heart center. They can be hands together, but I like to do stacked hands because I like to feel that heartbeat. And I invite you to drop your chin towards your chest in gratitude of just you showing up today. And let's think about one thing that we're grateful for, or at least an idea of gratitude. And whatever that is, let's bring that and envelop it into our heart space. Good. You can keep your chin towards your chest, or you can have your chin look forward, eyes closed or open, and I'll say our traditional endings for our class today. So the light in me honors and respects the light in you. Let's take the peace, the strength, and the understanding, that little attitude of gratitude, and let's pass it on. Namaste, which means the bright light in me honors and respects the bright light in you. This concludes our practice of gentle yoga for back care. I will now stop the recording.